Good morning or afternoon, boys and girls. I hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to look at multiplying basic series together. And this process is exactly what it says. We're going to multiply them together. We start by writing out the known power series. That's why it's important to memorize the 4 known power series. And then we're going to go back to Math 2, Math 1, and Math 3, and actually multiply each term together or use long division. So although this is not difficult, it is tedious. This is on page 10A of your notes, but fair warning, you're probably going to want to write it on a separate sheet of paper because it takes a little bit of work to do it and a little bit of space. So I've written them out just because I found when I tried to crush them all together, I was making mistakes. So I'm just going to write out e to the x. So we're going to begin. We're multiplying e to the x times cosine x. So I'm going to start by writing out the terms of e to the x. So the terms of e to the x, if you recall, are simply 1 x to the n over n factorial. So that's 1 plus x squared over 2 factorial plus x cubed over 3 factorial, which is 6. And we're going to multiply that times cosine x, and cosine x is even, so it's 1 minus x squared over 2 plus x to the 4th over 24. Okay? Now, I didn't put this in your notes originally, but we're only going to go up to the first 3 terms. Okay? When we get 3 terms and we're satisfied we have 3 terms, we're going to stop. But notice when I wrote this, I wrote out, especially in the first one, I wrote out more terms than was necessary. That's needed because we don't know. Sometimes the terms will zero out. So that doesn't mean that we're going up to the 2nd degree. We could go up to the 3rd degree, 4th degree if terms are zeroing out. So we're going to do exactly what we learned to do in Math 1. So you ready to go back for a blast from the past? We're going to multiply each term by 1. You guys remember that from Math 1. So that'll give me 1 minus x squared over 2. I'm going to leave some space in here in case I get an x term in there. So that's going to leave me 1 minus x squared over 2 plus x to the 4th over 24. Then I'm going to multiply x by each term. When I multiply by x, I'm going to get my odd term. So I get x minus x cubed over 2 plus x to the 5th over 24. I don't think I'm going to need that term, but just in case. And let's do another one. Let's do x squared times each term, which gives me x squared over 2. So that'll come here. And then the next one would give me x minus x to the 4th over 4. And then the next one would give me x to the 6th over 24. Now, did we do the last one? We're going to do the last one. We multiply that by each one, and we get x cubed over 6 minus x to the 5th over 12 plus x to the 7th over 72, I think. It doesn't matter because I don't need it. Okay, now you have to think about this. If I added another term here, it would be x to the 4th over 4 factorial. If I multiplied this, I would get x to the 4th. So if I needed 4 terms, I would have to expand this. But since I only need 3 terms, I think I'm going to get what I need. Because I have 1, I have x. These zero out. But when I multiply these together, I get minus 1/3 x to the third. And since I only need 3 terms, I am done. If I needed 4 terms, I would actually have to expand this and go to x to the 4th, because that would give me my x to the 4th term to add to this third column, that 4th column. Okay? Yes, I know this is tedious, but just wait till we get to division. You're going to really love that. All right, when we get to how is this an expansion, you could just expand this, taking the derivative. You're going to find that, though, that also becomes tedious because very quickly you have to use product rule. So we really don't want to do that either. So we're going to change this. If we recall, tan x is sine x over cosine x. So sine x is odd, so we start with x minus x cubed over 3 factorial, which is 6, plus x to the 5th over 5 factorial, which I think is 120. And then that's over cosine x, and cosine x is even, so we got 1 minus x squared over 2 factorial, plus x to the 4th over 24. Okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to do some long division, boys and girls. I know you're excited. I'm excited for you, because this is going to be epic. And we're going to divide that into x minus x cubed over 6 plus x to the 5th over 120. I know in Math 3, you were supposed to put our placeholders here, but I don't think it's going to matter. We'll see what it looks like. All righty. What can I multiply by 1 to get x? X. Then I multiply everything by x. So x minus x cubed over 2 plus x to the 5th over 24. We subtract. I always like to change my signs to show that I'm subtracting, just for my own bookkeeping skills. So that will zero out. And then negative 1/6 minus a half, or plus a half, is 1/3. Bring down our next term, which would be minus 1 over 30 x to the 5th. You can use your calculator to get these. Now we're going to multiply again. So what can I multiply by 1 to get 1/3 x cubed? And that would be 1/3 x cubed. We multiply again, so that's going to give me 1/3 x cubed minus 1/6 x to the 5th. Now, I only need 3 terms, so I only have to do this one more time, correct? So this is going to zero out, and then that zeroes out, and we're left with, I'm looking at my answer, 2 over 15 x to the 5th. Now, I could bring down another term, but I only need 3 terms, so I really don't have to go again. So what I would say is, what can I multiply by 1 to get 2/15 x to the 5th? And that would be plus 2/15 x to the 5th. So I would multiply that and then continue to add, but it's not going to change my answer because I only need 3 terms, and this is my answer. Okay, those are the 3 terms that represent tan x. The first 3 non-zero terms that represent tan x. Okay? All righty, let's do one more and we will call it a day. I don't have an answer for this one, so if I make a mistake on this, then, just have some grace for me. Understand the process. That's what we want to do. So if I make a math mistake, just understand the process of it. I couldn't sleep, so it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and this is my third take on this. So, yeah. All right, so let's write this out. This is 1 plus x, which is different than what we learned. So 1 plus x alternates. So 1 plus x is 1 minus x plus x squared minus x cubed. Secant x is 1 over cosine, so I can write that as 1 over 1 minus x squared over 2 plus x to the 4th over 24. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to have 1 minus x squared over 2 plus x to the 4th over 24. And we're dividing that into 1 minus x plus x squared minus x cubed. First step, I divide by 1, I get 1. So that becomes 1 minus x squared over 2 plus x to the 4th over 24. I subtract. And in subtracting, I get that zeroes out, so I have negative x plus 3/2 x squared minus x cubed minus x to the 4 over 24, which I don't think I'm going to have to go that far to get 3 terms, but we'll see. All right, so next we multiply by negative x. So what can I multiply by 1 to get negative x? Negative x. I multiply again. And that's going to give me minus x times x squared. See, that's a mistake. X times x squared is actually going to give me x cubed. So that should be minus x cubed over 2. And then that's minus x to the 5th over 24. Okay, so I only need to do this one more time because remember, I only need 3 terms. So when I subtract, I get that zeroes out, and so I get 3/2 x squared. And I don't really need the rest of this because, again, I only need 3 terms. So I only have to do this one more time. And what can I multiply by 1 to get 3/2 x squared is 3/2 x squared. So this is all I need as my answer because I'm only going 3 terms. Okay? So that is my answer. Alrighty, guys, I know this is tedious. I know. But there's nothing we can do about it except for suck it up and do it. And it could be worse. How could it be worse? You could be having insomnia and can't sleep, and you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning working on this, and this is your 3rd time working this problem. It could be worse. So let's suck it up. Let's do it. Let's do our homework, and I'll see you tomorrow.